So in just a little over a year and a half, Donald Trump has got our economy revving up. It's now booming. The U.S. is more secure. The president's policies, thankfully, for the sake of the people of this country, are working. But the left, Democrats, the mainstream, destroyed Trump media, they could care less. Instead, they all seemingly, because they want power back in the hands of Nancy Pelosi and company, want the president to fail. Well, if he fails, we fail. And they have abused their trust with you, the American people. In fact, the president's success is sending them over the edge. Now, it's why they push these phony moral outrage, feign outrage every second of every minute of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year now. And of course, it's kind of hard to stir up a new crisis every single day. So this weekend, well, they kind of turned their bag of tricks and said, oh, we don't have any more bad news. Let's make it up. And they just recycled, literally recycled, start to finish, a story that's more than a year old. Now, the fake outrage centered around this recent tweet from the president, quote, fake news, reporting a complete fabrication. And I'm concerned about the meeting that my wonderful son, Don Jr., had in Trump Tower. This was a meeting to get information on an opponent, which is totally legal and done every day, all the time in politics, and it went nowhere. I didn't know about it. Now, we all know that tweet from the president is not in any way, shape, manner, or form anything different than what he said over a year ago. It's not a new, stunning admission. Literally, we have known about the political nature of, quote, the Trump Tower meeting for over a year. It ended up being a meeting about adoption. We know Donald Trump Jr. was told, oh, they might have information on Hillary. In fact, President Trump tweeted as much way back over a year ago, July 2017, if any of these sheep in the media would ever do any work, they're lazy, they're overpaid. Most politicians, he tweeted over a year ago, would have gone to a meeting like the one Don Jr. attended in order to get info on an opponent. That's politics. And in September of 2017, the New York Times reported, quote, Donald Trump Jr. told Senate investigators that he set up a June 2016 meeting with a Russian lawyer because he was intrigued that she might have damaging information about Hillary Clinton. And sadly, in an effort to malign President Trump, well, your friends, well, not really, in the mainstream media, they forgot even their own reporting. Their own reporting. That's how bad they are. That's how desperate they are to get the Democrats back in power in 92 days. For example, one New York Times correspondent tweeted, what an astonishing brazen admission after more than a year of denials by the president and his staff. Huffington Post, they ran with the headline, quote, Trump finally admits his campaign colluded with Russia at Trump Tower meeting. The AP reports, quote, Trump appears to change story on meeting with Russian lawyer. Now, naturally, the feigned moral outrage of the day was even worse on your fake, phony networks and so-called news competitors of ours, which they're not. Take a look.
Everything you heard from every White House representative there was a lie. And not only was it a conspiracy to defraud, he's aiding and abetting in the undermining in interesting sorts of ways of our democratic society.
Our reporting, despite what the president tweeted in response to it, very much is that he's worried about Don Jr. He's expressed that worry to the people that he's been talking to on the phone. He's been privately brooding over this.
If he says he knew about the meeting, that almost certainly means Donald Jr. lied in front of Congress, and I think that that would almost certainly mean that Donald Jr. would get indicted.
On a random Sunday morning tweet, does it? An admission of lying, and something that at least starts to fit the dictionary, if not legal definition, of collusion.
It's starting to, like as if it's starting. It continues to make your hair hurt trying to follow it all.
And then there's the next level, which is Michael Cohen says, well, the president knew. So the president says, I didn't know. Does that add another level to the conspiracy?
It's like a competition. Dumb, dumber, dumbest. They're all in the same category. This treatment by this media to this president, duly elected by you, the American people, is beyond disgusting. And meanwhile, you have known leaker and liar Congressman Adam Schiff joining his friends in the mainstream media. Oh, we've got a great tape we're going to play for you in a second. Also weighing in with fake, feigned moral outrage of his own. By the way, he got nailed on CBS. He doesn't have any evidence. None. 18 months in, none, zero, zip. Take a look.
Can you agree that there has been no evidence of collusion, coordination, or conspiracy that has been presented thus far between the Trump campaign and Russia?
No, I don't agree with that at all. I think there's plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy in plain sight.
Where is it? We've been looking for a long time. We do have evidence of collusion, though. Russian collusion in plain sight. All right, let's look at Shiftless Schiff. He could easily be talking about himself. Remember when he tried to dig up dirt on President Trump from his own Russian sources? It turns out he was being pranked by a Russian radio personality. He thought he was talking with the Russians, a conspiracy, a collusion with the Russians, and we actually, Mr. Mueller, we have evidence. Listen to this.
He was in Moscow in November 2013. He met with a journalist and...
Well, she's a poor journalist, but anyway, she became famous because of Putin is her godfather.
Okay, Putin's godfather. Okay.
She also known as a person who provides girls for escort for oligarchs, and she met with Trump and she brought him our Russian girl, celebrity, Olga Buzova, who also known as a person with a strange reputation.
Olga, and how do you spell her name?
Olga Buzova.
And what's the nature of the compromise?
Well, there were pictures of naked Trump.
And so Putin was made aware of the availability of the compromising material?
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. We will be back in touch with you through our staff to make arrangements to obtain these materials for our committee and for the FBI, and I appreciate you reaching out to us.
Collusion, conspiracy, Russians, tape, proof. Where's the media outrage over the attempt to collude and conspire with Russia? Or is it only a crime if a Republican is trying to dig up political dirt and op research on an opponent? This time we have the tape of the whole thing. Imagine if we had the tape of the meeting in Trump Towers. That was about Russian adoption. As you can see, how corrupt your media is, and just so happy to rehash an old phony scandal. Literally a dead-end meeting about adoption with a Russian attorney who happened to meet with Fusion GPS before and after the meeting, sidebar, but couldn't care less about, oh, we have another case of collusion with evidence. The Clinton campaign funneling money through a law firm, the DNC funneling money through a law firm to hire a foreign spy. To dig up what came out to be Russian lies, propaganda, debunked lies about President Trump, and then fed it to you, the American people, to steal an election. And it became the bulk of the information in a FISA warrant that was used 4 times to spy on an American citizen as part of the opposition party campaign in an election year. Now, we're talking about Christopher Steele, Hillary Clinton's dirty dossier with Russian lies, bought and paid for by the Clintons, the Democrats, to purposefully lie to you, the American people. Why? Because they didn't care what they said, how many lies they told, because they wanted to steal an election, and they still lost with totally absurd, untrue claims from Russia, like this one. Trump's, quote, perverted conduct in Moscow included hiring the presidential suite in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, where he knew President and Mrs. Obama had stayed on one of their official trips to Russia, and defiling the bed where they had slept by employing a number of prostitutes to perform golden showers. In other words, urinating on the bed, and a show in front of him. Okay. In an interrogatory in Great Britain, when the threat of perjury was put to Christopher Steele, he did say the following: that was just raw intelligence. I don't know if that's true at all. 50-50. Where's the media outrage? That was used to get a warrant to spy on Americans. Where's the outrage against the Clinton campaign? Literally paying for lies to lie to you, the American people. Literally to rig an election that obviously used paid for Russian lies. That sounds like collusion and a conspiracy to me. And still the media wonders why the American people don't trust them. They wonder why you shout, "You suck." You know why? Because they do suck. They have a political agenda. They're politically driven. They hate this president and at all costs have been trying, continue to try to destroy him, his kids, his sons, his daughter, his 12-year-old kid, his wife, and literally anybody that's friends with them. Do any of these people in the media that lied again and got caught again, do they ever care how much better off this country is doing? 14 states, record low unemployment, Hispanic Americans, African Americans, Asian Americans, and our brave vets that are out now getting in the workplace. Millions fewer on food stamps, 4 million new jobs, more manufacturing jobs that Obama told us was never coming back.